there's different levels of intelligence we have inside our being. You get the logical, deductive, reasoning mind, pros and cons. Let's weigh it out. Should I take this job? This gives me 70 grand a year, but there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of hours. Should I take this job? This is 50 grand a year, but I'm kind of my own boss, and I know the owner, and he's giving me free creative control to kind of do what I want to do. Well, let's say the stressful job was 100,000 a year. That's better. Oh, what should I do? I got these desires that I can buy. I can go travel and do stuff and get girls or something. So anyway, so the logical deductive mind will try to list all that stuff. Now, real seeing, it's like you just see. It's like something you see via vibration, via life force. The life force you're aware of, it's like moves you here. It's not a decision. It just moves you. Yeah, I'm going to go to this job. You don't even, you just go. That's what you do. Papa G gave a good example once. Somebody asked him, like, what do you do? Like, when you wake up, like, what are you thinking about? Like, what are you going to do? How do you determine your day? He says, I see my shoes start to move, and then I run and jump in them. Now, what's he saying? He's saying the life force is guiding him and moving him to do whatever he does. It's not his business. His life's not his business anymore. He's realized, he had the realization that life was never his business. He wrote a book. Nothing ever happened, right? What does that mean, though? How can we apply that principle in our life to where it can actually give some freedom and not just sound poetic about it? It's boring. Just sound, oh wow, that's deep. No, how can we use it? What's the benefit of that? It's like you got the physical body that looks like it's doing everything. It's very gross. You got the mind that looks like it's like making decisions to do stuff. Choice, like freedom of choice and all that. Behind that, you got the life force. You got the more subtle life force that actually is responsible for the thoughts that we have, the desires we have, where we go, where we don't go. But the mind takes credit. It's like we get this feeling to do something. It's an abstract kind of tendency, but we don't pay attention to that usually. The mind takes that and says, I'm choosing to go here. I'm choosing to do that. Are you really? So anyway, physical body, it's the costume that gives, like that movie with Kevin Bacon, The Invisible Man. Like you couldn't see him unless he put a sheet on his head or something. Then it's like, oh. So that's what the physical body does. It's like it puts a sheet over these other subtle bodies we can't see. So you got the physical body and the mind. Appears like it's controlling things, and then underneath that you get the more subtle body intelligence, the life force. Behind that, the pure consciousness. It's not, you can't talk about it. It's the only thing that's really here. Everything else is dancing inside that. So Papa G was saying he was staying as himself. Same as Nazagarata. They somehow this essence principle had come into realization in this form. You couldn't go any further. Like they've realized the formlessness. So then for the play of when the person asks, so what do you do all day? What are you going to do? He answers on that level. He answers on the level of doing because the questioner was coming from that level, but he still made it more subtle. He's still trying to point. He's not choosing to, it's just the way it is. The life force is doing it. He's trying to say, look, my life, it's just a flow. It just happens. Like my shoes start to move. That's the life force. And when he's explaining that, he's talking from the formless self, though, obviously, because he's at a higher vantage point to even talk about the life force. If all he knew was just the level of life force, you can't talk about the life force. You got to be, you got to be a step back to see all this. So he's like, the life force starts to move, my shoes, and then I just flow with it. And I see, like, okay, where are we going? Oh, okay, go here, there, yeah, cool. So that's a different level of existing when we're reading vibration and when we're flowing with this natural life force that's running everything anyway. For a while, we imagine, and there can be the appearance that we're running stuff. Who are we? What do you mean? We're running stuff. The mind. The mind thinks it's choosing things. But how? If you like this video right now and what I'm saying, can you control that? Or is there's just an organic resonance with it? You see? Now somebody that's not, really aware of, not looking at all these things, they may say, well, I choose to watch this video. They're telling somebody about a video. Oh, I choose to watch this video. I really like this person. But you're not choosing it. You're not choosing to like the person either. There's just an organic feeling like that. So that kind of takes the load off when we realize this whole show's running itself, You kind of just chill. Another good analogy, though, I wanted to say about the difference between seeing versus thinking. I compare it to also when I got deep into, I realized that diet was really important several years ago, like 15 years ago. I was like, okay, this is a big deal. At least, especially for me, because I had a nervous system deformation and a cervical spine that's just deformed. It's an understatement. So I realized the chemistry I put in my body, what I eat and drink, plays a big part in the experience of this human body. I can't just bypass that. We're in a human form. There's certain laws and things we need to look after. Only an ignorant person would deny that. Or somebody that hasn't really experienced what it's like to have true health karma. It's like we all have. There's a few main categories of karma. There's health karma, relationship karma, financial karma. Usually, everybody will predominate in one of those categories of karma and have a rougher time. So mine was health karma. Also, family karma can be a big one. Money karma. Some people just can't ever make money. They're just always struggling, So I realized that the diet was really important. So, and I also realized a superficial level that people look at on diet is similar to this topic, seeing versus thinking. So the superficial level of diet is counting calories and carbs and proteins and fat and all that. The more subtle level, the more, deeper level is when you're feeling direct the magnetism in the food, the frequency of the food, the vibration, the consciousness in the food. We're eating consciousness when we eat, by the way. This is why some of these plant medicines can really help people, the ayahuasca and San Pedro, if you don't overdo it, because I call them the Jesus and Buddha of the plant kingdom. They're full-on consciousness, awakened entities in a plant form. Don't discriminate just because they're in a plant body. You take it and you'll see it's a lot more than a plant. So I realized through diet, that's why I'd make tonics and certain teas, and when I ate really healthy organic fruits, I was like full on. I'm like, damn, who cares? Calories and carbs and all that. I'm like, you just see. You're just like, yeah, you're seeing. You're not thinking. You're seeing direct experience how the body reacts to that in the vibration that you're consuming. So it's similar to this whole seeing versus thinking. And this is what a good teacher can help somebody. Those were always the people I was looking for. those who could just, they're in touch and aware of their own inner vibration and how it moves and guides them, so therefore they can see your vibration. You see, it's much better than going to some counselor who's following a book and questions that they've learned in school to try to figure something out. That's too logical. So we want to go to this deeper level of just seeing directly via life force and vibration, intuition. So I hope I made a good. Hope you understand. I made a good comparison. This will happen automatically via spiritual practice. And the more that we really listen to and are willing to imbibe these principles that are being discussed here, and to look deeper beyond the mind, that level, to quit just living from this strong identity. When something wakes up and wants to go beyond that, then automatically these things start to happen. Just like in another video I said, the peace and the good feelings and the love that we want, it's automatic. This whole thing's automatic. We don't have to try to work so hard getting something that's automatic. It's more like we have to just start realizing the delusion that we live in, and somehow let that go, and then our true self is already here. It doesn't get created. It's just kind of already here. You're like, whoa, hiding in plain sight. It's like deep CIA stuff. All right, have a good day.